Hey guys, it's Reilly with another All English solo episode. The weather has been cooling down a bit. Hopefully it's not temporary. I mean, it's getting so cool that I'm considering going on a bike ride tomorrow. Because I don't know, it looks like it'll be nice enough to be on a bike for a couple hours and not just be sweating and in pain the whole time because of the heat. Hopefully it stays this way or cools down a little bit more in the next few weeks. I think I remember last year, at least in Kagawa, like we got a kind of fake fall at the beginning of September, and then it just heated right back up toward the middle and end of September, and it wasn't cool again until like mid to late October or something like that. So hopefully that doesn't happen this year. At least in my opinion, I prefer the cool weather. I'm ready for summer to be over. But I'm not going to be talking about the weather for the main part of today's episode. I'll be talking about a new hobby I've picked up in the last year or so. I've started messing around with DJing, right? Like, basically that's it, DJing. I've done it mostly at like a bar that I go to that has a DJ decks, as you call them. And he, for some reason, let me use them, even though I had no idea what I was doing, and let me practice with them. And now I have my own little kind of mini deck called a controller that, Yuki got me for my birthday, and that we use now at home to kind of just mess around. Before I talk about that, I should do the Instagrams. Mine is Reilly Sullivan XD, and Sota is Eigo no Sota. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, I'm sure that pretty much everyone has heard of DJing, like knows roughly what a DJ is. But if you asked me a couple years ago, I wouldn't have been able to explain like thoroughly what they actually do. And even now, I don't know many of the kind of more advanced or even intermediate techniques. I'm very much a beginner, but I mean, essentially what a DJ does is you have two tracks, one on each side of, I guess there's a deck on the left side and a deck on the right side. Back, when DJing started, people would use actual like vinyl records, right? So you would have one turntable playing one record on the left side and another turntable playing another record on the right side. And in the middle, you have the mixer and controller where you can choose kind of which song is getting volume, right? Which song is like getting through to the speakers. And you can also change some other things like that. But for the most part, you have a little slider that goes left and right. And if it goes all the way left, then you only hear the song playing on the left side. And if it goes all the way right, then, you can only hear the song on the right side, right? And if it's in the middle, you can hear both songs, which is what kind of gets interesting because DJing, for the most part, the idea is that you can transition from one song to the next song in a kind of seamless or interesting way for the audience. And that's one other part about DJing is like for the most part it's like for parties, right? Or clubs or weddings or things like that. So you have an audience, and the main goal of the DJ is to make sure that the audience is having fun. Whether that's, dancing or mostly dancing, but maybe a DJ could play for a kind of chill vibe where people are sitting down and just chatting or something. I don't know. I guess there's all kinds of things. I guess even like technically on the radio DJ does something like that, although maybe they're not so involved. They basically just transition between songs. And so now, some people still use records. In fact, I have a friend that only DJs with actual records. But probably most people use, digital music, whether they use like USB or nowadays there are even some DJ software that let you just like stream from, Spotify or Apple Music or something like that and you can just play music like off the internet straight into the decks. The CDJ is like kind of a brand name for the thing that is controlling the music, right? So yeah, that's basically what it is. I got into it just by going to that bar, and then I had a couple of friends that DJ'd, and one of my friends started DJing a little bit before me, and he was practicing at that bar, so he invited me over to come like listen or whatever, and I tried it out. And now at that same bar, the owner has invited me and Yuki. Yuki does DJing as well. In fact, she's much better than me at it. But yeah, invited us to come to the bar and like play, I guess, little events, right? Like, I mean, they're not concerts. I mean, I don't know if really you ever call a DJ show a concert, but it's basically just for friends, right? Mostly we invite our friends to come, and so, some other random people, maybe people who normally go to that bar, whatever. But they're small. I mean, it's a small bar. Maybe if it's really full, 20 or 30 people could fit inside. But so we do that, and it's just a fun time, kind of like a fun party that we do every couple of months or something like that. And yeah, like, I think for me, it's been interesting to kind of listen to a new kind of music. I mean, as I've talked about in previous episodes, most of my life I listened to pretty much rock music. I mean, I've listened to hip-hop, and I've listened to folk music and other stuff like that. But, like, mostly what I'm listening to on any given day is kind of rock or similar to rock. But when I was in university, I got into some electronic music, dance music, you could call it. Like one is called juke or footwork. They're slightly different, but almost the same, which is a kind of fast dance music from Chicago that I really like. But now DJing, I've kind of started listening to more electronic music because, especially for a beginner DJ, you really kind of want the music to be at the same BPM. It's called beats per minute, right? Because if you're transitioning from one song to the other and the rhythm is different, right? The speed that basically the bass drum is hitting is different, it's not going to sound good. So one thing that decks have is like a BPM slider where you can change how fast the song is on one side to match the other song. But with rock music, it's often a little bit difficult to do that. Some people can do it. In fact, my one friend that DJs with records often plays kind of rock, pop sort of stuff that for me would be quite difficult to mix on a deck. But for me, it's much easier to do electronic music because especially if you stick within one genre of music, the BPM tends to be roughly the same, right? So like juke and footwork that I mentioned before tends to be about 160 BPM. And then there's other, that's fast. Like a lot of electronic music is maybe more like 130 or something like that. So yeah, for DJing, it's easier to kind of stick within one genre, but that might not be as interesting for listeners. It might get kind of samey. So like a good DJ should probably be able to switch between genres to kind of keep it interesting. But I'm not quite at that level yet. I tend to do it in the same kind of style for the whole time. And yeah, like that's basically it. I mean, one thing about DJing, at least in like the English speaking world, I think it's become more popular in recent years, probably largely because of this YouTube channel / like production company that throws events and stuff called Boiler Room. So they've had a couple of really big YouTube videos. Maybe the most famous one is by an artist, hip hop producer called K Tronada. So he had a DJ set that they filmed, and you can see the crowd all around him and behind him, and the kind of crowd doing weird and crazy things made the video like viral. It was really popular, and there were a lot of like memes and things made about audience members in that crowd. Kaytranada, I think before that was also like a fairly popular artist doing mostly hip-hop music, kind of production. He did like beats of his own, and I think also for other like rappers and things. But yeah, then that video, it wasn't the first Boiler Room video, but it was probably the most viral one, right? At least to come to my attention. And then there's been a lot since. So, like, if I mentioned juke and footwork, if anybody listening is interested in listening to juke or footwork music, then there's a Boiler Room set by DJ PayPal. He's a DJ and producer that I really like. So you should check out his set. And then more recently, I think now it's the most popular Boiler Room video. There was an event in Tokyo last year or 2 years ago, where this guy Yosuke Yukimatsu put on a really, really sick, really cool show, or set. It's called, like, your DJ set is, the length of time you play and perform. And yeah, so check that one out. That one's more, I don't know what you would call it. I think it's like techno with maybe some hard style. It's like a bit faster and a bit more abrasive, like, I don't know, strong sounding. It's definitely not chill, relaxing music. But it's really popular. I think a lot of it is because of like his energy while he's DJing. You can tell that he's really into it. Another one that's maybe more for like people who are into pop is Charlie XCX. The British pop artist famous for Brat last year and a lot of other stuff, but maybe that's what's made her the most famous now. She did a DJ set on Boiler Room, maybe two actually, but yeah, that one you should check out if you're more into like kind of pop music and stuff. And then another one that I really like is by Horse Girl. Horse Girl does hard style, trance, maybe even, I guess, happy hardcore you would call it. These are all genres of electronic dance music. But that also is a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive, but Horse Girl, compared to Yosuke Yukimatsu, is more, I think, accessible, a little more fun and silly. And it's definitely silly because she's called Horse Girl and she performs with like a horse mask on her head, so she looks like a horse. And then she makes music as well in addition to just DJing. Like most DJs, I guess, like I, for example, just play other people's music. But of course, some DJs produce music as well. They make their own music. And so Horse Girl is one of those. She makes her own music, and a lot of her lyrics in her songs are also, about being on the farm or whatever, kind of horse-related stuff. It was pretty funny, pretty, not so serious kind of stuff. But yeah, like, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I mean, I'm going to do an event actually next week, which is why I thought to do this episode. We're going to do another one at that same bar I mentioned. And yeah, hopefully it's a good time. I've kind of been practicing my set, but I definitely should really clean it up before the event happens. Like, when I say clean it up, like, you can kind of go in beforehand into the software that you use for DJing, and you can set, like, places in the music that you want to start the song or that you want to jump to at a certain point so that you can make transitions between songs at like interesting points in the music. You might want that, like, kind of when one song is dying down, you transition into the next song as it's building up, so you get this kind of like up and down feeling or whatever. Or some people do like wordplay where you kind of match what the songs are talking about as you transition, so it's kind of like funny or interesting for the audience. Whatever. There's a whole bunch of techniques that I can't really go into. One, because I don't know all of them. I'm certainly not an expert and not the one to teach everyone about like how to DJ or whatever. But it's what I've been interested in lately. In the last year or so, I've been messing around with it. And yeah, I hope it's interesting. And if you guys want, you should check out some of those DJ sets that I named on Boiler Room. Oh, yeah. Speaking of Boiler Room, I forgot to say, like, next month, I guess, yeah, Yuki and I got tickets to the Tokyo Boiler Room. So, yeah, we'll get to see a DJ set, I guess, by, like, serious, pretty famous DJs. Like, it's not... I haven't really been to, like, a show before. You know, I've been in clubs. I'm not a big club person, to be honest, but I've been in clubs here and there where there was a DJ. But, like, most clubs that I've been to, the DJ is not really, like, the focal point. It's not what everyone's paying attention to. Everyone's just kind of dancing or talking and drinking, you know, all that. But nowadays, maybe partly because of the influence of Boiler Room, more clubs are starting to be where, like, people look at the DJ, and it's more like the DJ is like the reason you go to the club more often than just you go to dance, and it doesn't matter who the DJ is as long as they're playing music that you can dance to, right? So I think that's changed a little bit recently, but anyway, yeah, I'm looking forward to going to this Boiler Room event. The last one in Tokyo had that Yosuke Yukimatsu guy who was a huge, like, viral sensation who really blew up. So I don't actually know any of the artists that are playing at the show I'm going to, so it'll be cool to see some new people, like some new artists, and yeah, kind of experience a new thing that I've never done before. But I think I'll leave it there. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.